What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys, aka the Barrel Boys. Tonight, we continue our off-season, off-topic series. We're all having a good time doing these. And tonight, we're actually all together for the first time, I think, in the off-season. We have a very special treat for you guys. We're doing a bourbon tasting. So this is one of our ideas that came pretty early on in our off-season planning. Joey's a big bourbon guy. He gave us some suggestions to try. So we are going to taste them. We're going to sample them. We're going to tell you what we think about them. We're gonna shoot the shit a little bit, talk a little basketball, see what else comes up tonight. Should be fun. We should probably do some introductions here too. I'm Titus Two Shots Dominguez, and joining me, he's got his glass ready. It's Chris, the Stats Man Gorman. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
Hello, Titus.
Hello, friend.
I am without stats tonight. Thank you.
Sorry. He has no bourbon stats. Oh, he's fresh out the barrel, or freshly going into the barrel. There he is. It's White Dog, Joey McCroskey. Get that, Joe.
Cheers. Let's drink some.
Let's
drink some bourbon.
I know. Very excited. So Joey's been chomping at the bit for this all day, texting us, sending us snaps.
I'm ready.
He's ready to go.
Do you have a bourbon with a horse on it? I have a thing about liquors with horses on them, so chomping at the bit is a perfect description.
Perfect. Chris, how are you? How excited? Scale 1 to 10. How excited are you for bourbon night?
This feels great because it's kind of like an excuse to feel like you're being productive, but then drink.
Yes, it's called tasting. It's classy.
Tasting.
There's a new show on True TV called 100 Places to Visit Before You Die. And it's just two comedians partying everywhere while being filmed.
Yeah,
and it feels like, oh, that's perfect. You're it's not working. You're just partying while being filmed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The carbonara effect.
Hey, wow, that's not take some shots. The great show that I have not watched it. It's a deep cut inside joke for us. The carbonara. All right, so Joey, let's start with some descriptions here. So we got the general rundowns. We each got 3 whiskeys to try. 2 of them are the same for each of us. And then we each have a sort of a wild card local sampling. Is that kind of what we did here?
Yeah, mine's not so local. You stole the local Chicago one. That's fine.
That's right.
We're gonna mix it up.
I don't know. I thought we were all.
It's all good. It's all good. I've got a local Kentucky one.
Oh, he went down to Kentucky.
Actually, sorry, West Virginia. I read the bottle.
Wow.
I know my states.
It's all right. So what's going to happen here is Joey's going to read a brief description of the alcohols we are trying. Then Chris is going to give us a bourbon-related question. And then Joey's going to give us a basketball-related question. And we are going to talk as we sip and give you guys tasting notes on the bourbon. So let's go ahead and get right into it. What is our first one tonight, Joey?
First one is Jefferson's very small batch. It's a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys made in Louisville, Kentucky.
Looks good.
It is 88 proof, and the description is copper color, deeper peach and orange, and sweet baking spices follow through on a supple entry to a dry yet fruity medium full body with layers of spiced nuts and caramel fudge.
Whoa.
Finishes with a long, smooth vanilla and mineral scented fade, a great sipper or mixer with fantastic flavor and balance. And I believe this is the cheapest of the ones that we purchased. Comes in, I think, around $30-ish.
It sounds about right from what I remember.
Yes.
Jefferson's. So I've never had Jefferson's before. I have not had any of these before that I'm trying tonight, and I did.
Neither
not
have I. Chris, have you had any of these 3?
Mm-hmm.
Or your 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's tasting.
He's already in the middle. I thought we were looking at the nose here.
We were sniffing.
I'm definitely getting a lot of caramel.
Sorry, I really jumped the gun here. It's delicious.
That caramel sweetness.
I heard you say fudge. I didn't taste any fudge.
Yes, it says medium full body with layers of spiced nuts and caramel fudge. I'm definitely getting the baking spices and the fruit, the peach and the orange. Not so much the a little bit of pecan, a little bit of nuttiness.
This one has always has the biggest kick in the aftertaste.
Ooh,
could that be the spice nuts?
Is that what that is? So it's smooth up front for you.
And I heard spice nuts.
A little hit in the back.
You just heard spice nuts and got excited.
One sip in, and we're talking about spiced nuts. This one says a great sipper or mixer with fantastic flavor and balance. I think this might be more of a mixer. For
Yeah,
me.
this one feels a little, good entry, good starter point, but nothing crazy. I'm definitely getting like what you're saying, sort of that fruit.
What kind of ice are we talking about? Titus has a big ball of ice. He's got the whiskey rock.
Yeah,
Chris, are you going dry?
Okay, so I'm kind of double fisting here because I have two kinds of glasses with me tonight. I have my
Chris is already off the rails.
Glencairn glass, which
Okay.
is the fancy tasting glass. Then I have my groomsman glass from Kyle's wedding when he was supposed to get married, November 16, 2019. Shout out, Kyle, if you're listening. I don't think you ever do, but shout out. I got some whiskey stones in here.
Kyle.
Whiskey stones. Okay.
And
so you're doing like a straight and a cold.
Yeah.
Okay.
See if I can taste any difference here.
The ice ball. I like a little watered down whiskey. Is how I prefer.
I'm the same way. I'm a 3 ice cube guy.
All right.
I always thought you're supposed to have whiskey straight.
You probably are.
No, you aren't.
Yes.
You can. It's normal to water it down a little bit or add some ice with any kind of whiskey. So,
should we try and give these like a ranking, like a number score for us?
Yeah, out of 100
I meant to come up with like a 1 through 10
out of 100
barrels.
Oh, we do it.
1 through 10 barrels. How many barrels?
Barrels. All right.
We do barrels.
I'm gonna give this. Oh,
go ahead.
No, you go. I'm kind of deciding. So,
I'm like a 7 barrels.
Okay, that's kind of where I was leaning 7.5 barrels. That's where I was at.
Yeah, I was gonna say solid 7. It's a good.
Jefferson's is good.
I think for the price point, it makes good sense if you're looking for a relatively cheap bourbon.
And I know, Joe, you were mentioning. I think it was before the pie that you're a sucker for the horses.
I am.
I'm a sucker for kind of the history kind of the ex-president kind of ones.
Well, that makes sense with
give
your
me some
Hamilton
themes like that.
Yeah,
right.
This is Jefferson, not Hamilton, but
Jefferson was a big character in Hamilton.
Oh,
as you may have.
He was in there.
Still not know.
I have had. There is a version of Jefferson's that I have had that's aged at sea, which is significantly more expensive than this. But they age the barrels on boats in the ocean, so you get wild temperature swings in the barrels.
Okay, was that any good?
Salt spray.
It's actually fantastic. It's like super smooth because you get a lot of the transfer in and out of the wood.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good, but it's like triple the price of this. So I think it.
Yeah, I saw that at my local Total Wine and Spirits.
I believe I saw that one,
which is the Minnesota Benny's.
Minnesota Benny's.
All right,
Chris, you got a bourbon question?
Yeah. So what kind of? Yeah, actually, I have two. So glassware. What kind of glass do you guys like to drink your bourbons in most? When you think about you're gonna have bourbon tonight, what's the glass you're using? Do you guys have a preference?
I went with my fancy snifter. This is actually a beer snifter, but it's for Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Stout. So I figure in the same vein.
Close enough.
But I generally prefer like just what's it called? A rocks glass, just the short. That's usually what I drink out of. But when I'm going fancy, I'll break out my snifter. Joey?
Nice. Yeah, I prefer a rocks glass. I don't have a fancy snifter, just with a nice wide mouthed rock glass that the ice can really permeate and get nice and chilled for me.
You need the fancy snifters, just
probably
you can go like this.
I need the swirl. I can't do the swirl.
As it's chilling, I am liking it a little bit more.
Yeah, it mellows out a significant amount.
Gets a nice little sweetness to it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely probably going to be mixing this, I think, when I finish this bottle. But
okay, and that's my other question is, what are you guys mixing this with? What's your mixture of choice here?
If I'm mixing bourbon, I'm doing one of two things. It's either just going to go with like a cola, like Jack, which is or whiskey, or gosh darn, wow,
whiskey's hitting already.
Coca-Cola, or I prefer.
I like Pepsi myself.
Pepsi. What's the my gosh, mint juleps. I do enjoy a mint julep around Kentucky Derby time. A little sugar cubes, muddled with some mint and a little bourbon on top of it. Can't beat that.
Would be interesting. I generally, if I'm mixing bourbon, it's typically with like Coke as well. But I did try when Joey had recommended me some other bourbons to try. I tried Long Branch, and it came with a recipe book. I forget what it was called. I forget what the drink was called. Something related to Long Branch, but it
it had like a bunch of fruit juices.
It was like lime juice. Yeah, it was lime juice, like seltzer water or club soda, and then there was some other like sweetener in there or fruit juice in there. It was very good. I tried that, so that's a good little like a refreshing mixer. So not as heavy as Coke, but
Chris, what are you mixing with?
Water, ice,
water.
Yeah, that's mean.
I found as I get older, I can't mix it with anything else. Like when I have vodka, I just drink it with water now. That's what I'm trying to do with all my alcohol. Keep it straight, keep the calories intact,
keep the sugars down.
Gotta keep that sugar down.
If it's your adult alcoholic phase,
don't need my early onset diabetes.
I need to get this water as I'm drinking. That's where you're at. Hey, I do most of my stuff is mixed with seltzer water. So. Joey, you got a basketball question for us?
Yeah. Should we just do the hard hitting one right off the bat? Let's do it.
Go ahead.
All right. So who are you taking? Prime D Rose, which I'm considering probably like his MVP season, maybe the one right after that as well, or let's call it last year's Ja Morant. Take out his rookie season and just give him just last year.
Okay.
You guys want some quick stats? I got some stats lined up.
Throw out the stats.
All right. Yeah. So last year, Ja versus MVP D Rose. D Rose played 81 games. Ja played 57. Ja shot 49.3% from the field, 44.5% for D Rose, 34.4% from three, 33.2% respectively. Effective field goal percentage was 53% for Ja, 48.5% for D Rose. Rebounds, assists, pretty much equal. Points, Ja was just over 27 and D Rose just over 25.
Wow, pretty comparable.
The big one that stood out to me there is I thought D Rose would have been more efficient than Ja. And I was sadly mistaken. 9 for 20 on average, and Ja was 10 of 21. So not much different, but not very good for our beloved Rose.
Similar players in well, so I'll just answer because for me this was actually pretty easy. I was Derrick Rose. As much as I love Ja, you guys know I love Ja. I just felt like he's won an MVP, made a conference finals. Like once you get there, Ja, you can we can see. But until that point, I got to go with my man D Rose, and he was electric just as much as Ja was. So, Chris?
So to be fair, so I have the stats in front of me as well. To Ja Morant, he is more efficient. He hits about, Joe, you mentioned 40. He shot 49% from the field, while Derrick Rose in his MVP year shot 45%. So that's a whole 4% different. Big thing to call out there is that the two guard that Derrick Rose got to play with is either Ronnie Brewer or Keith Bogans a bunch of the time, right? And Ja Morant's got Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bain who are coming into their own. So
what's wrong with those guys?
That's why. So if you want to say efficiency is why Ja is better, it's not. And the Grizzlies were actually winning without him. I actually have a hot take where the Memphis is going to fall next season. I think they're just due to regress, and I'll go into more of that later. But it's Derrick Rose. Let's get out of here. Derrick Rose was fantastic, and whoever wrote this question really needs to rethink. Why would they even ask this? It's ridiculous.
Well, my initial thought was it's D Rose because of his, like, the thing about Ja, right, is like a lot of the shots he makes, like you could consider, I don't know, like lucky, like when he's kind of at the rim, and a lot of them don't look like they're not as in control looking, right? Like his dunks obviously are relatively thunderous, but like a lot of his layups and some of those like crazy fadeaways, like he's a really good body control, but kind of like a circus shot guy. And like, last week or this week, I watched an entire game from 2015, and then I watched the 15 or 20-minute video of D Rose's highlights in it. Like the layups that D Rose was making they just seemed so much more in control. Like when he would drive to the rim, there was like a definite purpose to it, but then it was kind of like, all right, the times were completely different, like just the way the game was being played and everything. So my initial argument was like, hey, D Rose is just way more in control, and like, that's why he's making all these layup stuff. And then I was like, well, actually he's not making as many as Ja. But Chris, I think your point is excellent. The Grizzlies did well without Ja, and I mean the Bulls were not going to do anything special if D Rose wasn't around, which they proved relatively quickly when he wasn't around.
This is true. No, I didn't want to do the cop out answer, but I will do it a little bit. Like if you're telling me like long term, who I think is going to be eventually be the better player, I think it's Ja. I think he'll have a.
Do you
better
think Ja
career
would
than
ever
Curry.
ever eclipse what Derrick Rose did?
Maybe not. I mean, this might have been his best season to win the MVP. But I can see him
He won
making
the MIP.
Yeah, I can see him making a conference finals for sure. Like I'm kind of actually on the opposite of Chris. I think they're gonna have a solid run next year. I just, maybe it's not a super increase or whatever, but because of how good they were this year. Because I mean, they were a 2 seed or a 3 seed this season.
They're the 2 seed.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe they don't get back to that height, but I could actually see them having a solid playoff run, maybe making the conference finals this season, depending on kind of matchups and who's healthy and all that stuff. So
I can't wait to. I have so much I want to unpack from that, but
yeah,
I'm empty, so I'm ready to move on. How are you guys doing?
Yes, I am ready to move on. I've been switching bottles over here, tops.
All right, so we're on to Michter's small batch Kentucky straight bourbon. Let's see if I can figure out quickly where this one's made. I can't. I didn't write it down. So, Michter's small batch.
Louisville.
Louisville.
Oh, it's bottled in Louisville.
Bottled.
So, what numbers you guys got? You guys got a batch? We got the same batch numbers?
I've got a 22H2522.
I got 21L3193.
22D 1432.
All right, so we all got different batches.
All right, so we're all on a different mix here. This one
Titus has like a nice little pour there too.
Yeah.
Is he aerating?
No, I just have a little pour. I didn't want to spill bourbon everywhere.
This is
smart.
A little bit higher proof, 91.4 proof. The description: the nose has notes of dried fruits, apricot, vanilla, and rye spice. The flavors on the palate consist of sweet corn, rye spice, oak, and caramel. The finish is medium long with sweet oak flavors complemented by baking spices, cinnamon, and caramel.
I will say right off the bat, I love the nose of this better than Jefferson's.
And I will mention this one is about 45-ish, $50 somewhere in there. So $20 more expensive.
Priciest one.
This was the most expensive one I bought. Yes.
This one, to me, significantly more oaky right off the bat.
Yes.
Much more.
Agreed.
Much more oak and the rye. You could definitely get the grains more.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that corn. I was getting the corn grain, but
if you like this one, you're probably gonna love your Whiskey Acres.
All right.
Ooh.
This is one I can't smell too long, and then I'll be like, "Oh, that's strong."
Ooh. That's delicious.
That is
1 proof.
Oh, that is delicious.
91.4. That's fantastic.
What is that flavor? Caramel? It's like a sweet.
Yeah. It's like vanilla-y. It almost smells like vanilla extract you would use for baking.
Well, I'm getting a lot of the barrel, a lot of the oak and the char.
Yeah.
Is really coming through.
They mentioned oak twice in the description. They said the finish is medium long, so it kind of lingers a bit with sweet oak flavors, and I think that's pretty accurate. That's spot on. Yeah,
that is some delicious stuff. So far, well, I mean, I guess I want to give it another sip and then maybe go to our ratings. But so far, this one's better than Jefferson's for me.
This one's worth the extra $20.
Yes. I would agree. This one I'm not mixing with something. This is not a mixing mixer.
No, this is officially I want to have a bourbon.
Yeah. I think I still prefer my Pinhook over this, but this is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I still have my bottle of Pinhook.
The Pinhook is smooth.
It's very close, but this one is very right in my wheelhouse of flavor profile.
Yeah, this one's complicated. It's got a lot going on in it. It's got a lot of flavor. All right, Titus, give us a number.
I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10 barrels.
9 barrels.
9 out of 10 barrels. This is a good one.
Chris,
I give it 8.5. Cut that barrel in half.
I'm right there with you. 8.5. It's good. I'm gonna knock it a tiny bit for the price because it's.
I guess we're factoring in price.
It's a little bit on the steep side for one old bottle. That's good.
I got a fun fact about this Michter's. They originally started in Pennsylvania back in 1753. It is rumored that George Washington, shout out, used to purchase this whiskey made by Johann and Michael Schenck, who started this distillery. So we are essentially drinking whiskey from George Washington used to drink.
Are you just going to find a way to bring presidents into all of these? Because I hope you do. That's fantastic.
I mean, I'm 2 for 2. I think that's
presidents. All the presidents' men. It does say established 1753 on the bottle. So
yeah, what is it? Distilled in small batches according to the Michter's pre-Revolutionary War quality standards dating back to 1753.
Well, whatever you're doing, Michter's, keep doing it. It's delicious.
That is absolutely delicious.
Yes, that was. Ooh, that's good. It actually reminds me a lot of the bourbon barrel beers I used to drink, and as far as like the flavor profile, this was like the flavor you wanted to get off the beer. Actually, before we get, as we get into questions, I do have a question for you guys. How did you guys get into bourbon?
Good question. So I started with Scotch, actually.
Okay.
My buddy Matt and I, you guys know, when we first started working together, we went to Binny's one day at lunch and we were kind of curious, and we bought a bottle of Scotch and we split it. And that kind of started. I was not a big fan at first, and then I kind of learned a little bit more about it. I got into it and realized that, like, for me, Scotch is a very like wintertime drink, or like situational drink. But bourbon for me is like, you can have that any night you want, and you can mix it with things. Like, you're not going to mix Scotch with Coke or something like that. So bourbon was kind of a good hit. And then Chris and Caitlin and Aaron and I went on our little whiskey trail trip, in 2013, maybe something like that.
No, it was later than that.
Later than that.
So before I got married,
somewhere around there. We went.
Like,
maybe
it was just 2014. Actually.
We did Maker's Mark and Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
And that really cemented it. Chris and I went on a hunt in Louisville for some cigars. We found some Maker's Mark cigars, and from there it was kind of downhill, and I've expanded into many different bourbons.
Nice. Chris, was that
that's kind of funny you mentioned the bourbon trail trip. I was trying to think if I had bourbon much before that. That was kind of the tipping off point. Prior to that, I think I had Scotch with Titus. I think it was with you and Caitlin's dad at the time.
At that old house in Lombard. The Johnny Walker Blue, right?
Yeah, no. I didn't remember that.
Was it Johnny Walker Blue we were having there?
It was gold. It might have been gold.
I think he gave you guys some of the good stuff. If I remember correctly.
We did have some.
At my wedding, we had that Black Label. It's like a thing. If we got into our first fight, we drink the Black Label, which we just ended up opening later. It wasn't that good. It's fine. Yeah, I guess it was definitely from that Louisville trip, I guess.
Yeah, I think what it was is we tried that there. Specifically the moment we tried that Maker's 46.
Yeah,
and that's that was kind of when I was like, wow, there's a lot to this. Like, I kind of always thought it was just kind of like whiskey, and then I realized that it's way more complicated, and it's delicious.
Yeah, nice. I crossed over from bourbon barrel beers. That's how I kind of got into it. So I drank a lot. I was in the drinking a lot of craft beer in my younger days, and chasing the bourbon barrel beers was the big deal. So I really liked the flavor. And then my father-in-law started buying bourbons, and I started like. What happened was it got easier. Like once I kind of started to like the bourbon flavor. And it's actually happened with coffee for me too. I wasn't a big coffee drinker at the time, and then there was a lot of coffee beers. But I started to like those flavors in the beer, and then go, all right, well, I just want to try the good version of this by itself, so I can just have it. And that was kind of how I got into bourbon. And then I haven't really, wouldn't say I got like deep into it or really tried a bunch of stuff. It's just been a regular rotation of, always have a bottle of bourbon in the house. So
I remember that was like during the time when bourbon barrel aged beer was becoming like a big thing. Right now that's like it's almost mainstream what that is now compared to what it was.
Bourbon County Stout from Goose Island, if anybody had that. That's Kentucky Breakfast Stout, the glass I'm drinking was one of the ones. So that was it. Chris, you got a bourbon question for us?
Bourbon best proof. So this one is 91 proof. The one prior was
88. 88.
Jefferson? Mine says 42 or 82
on the bottom. That's weird.
82.
Either way,
one of you guys.
When you guys look at what's the proof? What's the proof range if you guys are looking at a whiskey you're looking at?
I think I'm floating around like that 88 range, like that 40.5%. Like this Michter's is good. but I feel like it's going to hit much harder than the Jeffersons did.
A little hot for you.
It's not. Yeah.
It's gonna. Yeah.
It's got some kick to it.
Yeah. I would actually say that I don't have a true preference for proof.
Which is weird because my wild card is 99 proof, so maybe I screwed this up in terms of
It's gonna be hot.
my cap is like 90. This is 91. This is like right at where I would drink straight and be like okay with it. I was drinking like 110 proof or 100. I think I got up to like 118, and that's just too much. You can't be doing that often.
Just burning.
You're just asking for.
It
was delicious, but man, oh man.
Masada. All right, Joey, hit us with a basketball question.
Should we do the bourbon table or the Levine Butler trade?
I'm ready for the Levine Butler trade.
Levine Butler trade.
All right.
Yeah.
Who won the Zach LaVine Jimmy Butler trade? The Bulls or the Minnesota Timberwolves? Chris, because this impacts you in both ways, you get to go first.
Yeah, and I look at this question on its face. I feel like there's an obvious answer here. Being the Minnesota resident that I am, I'm going to take the Minnesota side here and say that the Minnesota Timberwolves won the Jimmy Butler, Zach LaVine trade. And here's why. The 5 seasons after Jimmy Butler was traded to Minnesota has won a total of 171 games to the Bulls 148. Mm-hmm. Minnesota was great for that one season before so Jimmy Butler was traded for Jimmy Butler and the 16th pick, and Justin Patton was traded for Markkanen, LaVine, and Dunn. A year later, Jimmy Butler's traded along with Justin Patton again for Bayless, Rocco, Dario Saric, and a second-round pick. Rocco became a solid rotation player who's still in the league right now with the Clippers. And that next season, Derrick Rose scored 50 points for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, he did.
And that was just a nice cultural moment for the city. After that, they won 19 games, 23 games, and they were able to get the first overall pick and get Anthony Edwards on their team. And now they're primed to be. I still feel like it's an underrated team. Nobody likes to talk about the Timberwolves as an actual contender. Everyone's like a good regular season kind of team.
Good morning. They have Gobert, but
yeah. But it's just looking at their team now. All right, 5 years later after that trade, who's in a better position to win games and potentially compete for a championship? Is the Timberwolves or the Bulls? And for that reason, I believe the Timberwolves won that trade.
So my only challenge to that is, are you saying the only reason they won that trade is because they became so bad that they were able to get Anthony Edwards with the number 1 pick?
Number 2 pick? That one season that they had Jimmy Butler, they were fun. They were a competitive team. They won 47 games. It's more games than the Bulls have won in the last 5 years. So, and even though it was just one season, it was short-lived. It was still a win compared to Laurie just left, right? Yeah. Chris Dunn was a bust.
Yep.
And LaVine, we got LaVine. He's
2-time All-Star.
So they also got the number 7 overall pick, which was right.
Laurie.
It was Laurie, but I mean they got the 7th pick. So the stats or the deal was Bulls sent Jimmy and the number 16 pick. The Bulls got LaVine, Dunn, and would turn out to be Laurie Markkanen.
Cool.
I feel like the Bulls won that trade.
The Bulls won that trade because Jimmy Butler got traded the following season.
I think that's specifically just the trade. I think the Bulls ended up winning it.
Yes, just the trade.
Because Jimmy kind of screwed them and said F off and left.
Because Jimmy did Jimmy things.
Jimmy was Jimmy.
Well, this is where I'm starting. I was reviewing this trade more and more and seeing it's just better to be a team to make big swings, because if you miss and you still have your first round picks, you can just bottom out, get a good guy, and come right back to it. The Bulls are kind of in this limbo that's like they're good, but are they great? Like
with you guys,
what's that?
This is what I've been arguing for years with you guys.
Titus's take. The only thing I'd say too is if the Bulls didn't have that period where they for some reason decided to have Jim Boylan as their head coach, would Laurie Markkanen have worked out for them? Probably better. He probably would have, right? If he played in more of a Billy Donovan type offense. I mean, come on.
Well, remember we thought
is he any good in Cleveland?
Yeah, what is Laurie at this point?
Good point.
Is he like?
That's what I mean.
Could he be better than Kevin Love? Like, was? Like,
I think he's probably like that's a good comparison, right? Like,
not even a ceiling. Kevin Love got so many more rebounds than Lowry did, but
if you got, I just think like if like in today's NBA, right? If you have a 7-footer who can shoot the three, that's
why I was so excited for Lowry.
That's an offensive weapon.
Lowry Markin is probably one of my biggest disappointments I've seen in basketball in the last 5 years.
And then Boylan sent him down to the post and said, "Try and play it inside," and that was like
that big fella.
Be a big man. Didn't work.
I think actually it's funny. I think Vucevic would be like his comp. Like as far as if he reaches full potential, he's Vooch. Yeah. He's a scoring big man that really can't defend and
true. But he's more athletic than Vooch. I mean, he's not just like a stump. He's a tree.
How do you guys feel about the how Vooch extension talks?
Oh boy. We're having fun tonight.
I'm okay with it being on the table.
We'll see what the money is, right? I think that's the bigger question.
I think in terms of like the long game, I'm still on the boat here that like they signed Zach, which like turned a stigma for them that they don't pay their players, and like they need to make that commitment. Like,
but they were the last team to pay a player for over $100 million. Right, I'm pretty sure. Right, yeah,
right. So like, do you guys want to do another question? Since Chris brought up, or Titus, you brought up Vooch.
Sure, you got a Vooch question?
Yeah, I do. I've got a start, bench, cut question for you.
Oh, nice.
I have two of them, but one of them involves Vooch. So start, bench, cut. We got 3 players. You got to start one, bench one, cut one. Joakim Noah.
Okay.
Pau Gasol.
Okay.
Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah, that's the order for me.
I think it would start.
I'm assuming Pau Gasol on the Bulls. We're talking Bulls?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
talking Bulls. Pau Gasol.
All right. Then sorry. Noah. I thought we were talking career. All right. Yeah. Then it's Noah, Gasol, and then
you could kind of say maybe Vooch. Well,
yeah, Vooch on the bench.
Yeah.
So
Noah's starting.
I think Noah's your starter. I think that's fair. But Pau and Vooch are different players.
Yeah.
Right.
If we're talking Bulls, Pau.
Pau's playing in the paint.
He was good on the Bulls, though, too.
Good on the Bulls,
they would have won that series if Rondo just stayed healthy,
He's playing in the paint, hook shot, getting rebounds, doing more of that. Vooch is playing more outside. I'm starting Noah. I'm benching Vooch, and I'm cutting Pau.
I love you, Joey. You're so in on this team. You're so in on this team. Let's go.
He's heartbroken.
If Lonzo can play 60... Oh, sorry.
Vooch on a second team is a lot better than Vooch on like the first team. Like,
yeah.
Like if you're making that team and you've got these 3 centers, like Joakim is your starter, right? When he gets tired or gets in foul trouble, you're bringing Vooch, and that's a lot more dangerous than bringing in Pau off the bench.
Yeah, like if you put Vooch on Minnesota right now and he was behind Towns and Gobert, he's good.
Yeah.
They got Naz Reid. They're happy with that.
All right, you got any more?
Was my fantasy pickup on and off all season.
Naz Reid, yeah.
Naz Reid.
Got those boards. Get a double here and there.
Any more start bench cuts?
Should we save the next one?
One more, but I can save the next one.
Let's save it.
All right, save the next one. All right, hold on. Let me finish my.
I think that one's the next one's probably pretty easy. Maybe not. Maybe not. So we've got the wild cards next. We want to go one at a time.
Yeah, we'll go
we can all pour and then we can
we can all pour and discuss. So who wants to take the first pour?
I can go for. Do you have descriptions for all 3 of ours?
I do have all descriptions for all 3 of yours.
Well, go ahead and read. Go ahead and read mine.
All right. So Titus is sipping Whiskey Acres from DeKalb, Illinois.
Corn country.
I have had their whiskey before, and one of their bourbons, not the one that you chose. So I believe this is about $35-ish.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Right about there. They do grow their own grain, which is the exciting part. It's off of Salmonac Road across from the Christmas tree farm. If anybody's ever in DeKalb area, feel free to swing in.
I know that.
All right.
I'm going to be in there this weekend.
We should make a trip. We should go to Whiskey Acres. All right. This is a long description. They have quite the description, which is pretty exciting. So 87 proof Whiskey Acres. The aromas jump out of the glass. The wheat and corn are evident and upfront on the nose. Cornbread certainly comes to mind. In the background, flavors of orange peel, toffee, vanilla, and a soft dose of anise from the wood. On the palate, the bourbon feels fat and viscous. Upon tasting, a dose of fruit shows up. Dark cherries, cooked blackberry, vanilla toffee, and subtle cinnamon, along with orange peel and spice. Quite vibrant on the tongue. The finish is medium in length, warming and pleasant with persistent flavors, orange peel, toffee, vanilla, oak, and spice.
All right. Well, I'll talk about it then since you just read the description. Yes, I agree. It jumps out at you, the nose. I get wheat bread is exactly how I would describe it. It's like putting my nose into a bag of fresh wheat bread.
Ooh.
We get like the sweetness from the sugar, you know what I mean? But also the wheatiness, which smells good. All right, let me get a little zipper. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of similar things. A lot of the corn, a lot of the wheat. It's very sweet. I would not say like you don't taste the heat very much at all. It's kind of mellow. Strong on the sweetness. Not getting a ton of the wood like I did in the Michter's. But this is very good. I would definitely have this above Jefferson's, just behind Michter's, but not far. It's very good.
Okay. So for the price point, though, it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
How many barrels?
Let me get one more taste. I'll give it 8 barrels. 8 barrels.
8 barrels. Yeah, so that's just behind Michter's.
Yeah, that's a good one. I would purchase again.
There you go. All right, Chris, you want to go next? Little Scalvin.
Let's go.
Scalvin in 90 proof. This is very minimal description. The smooth sipping bourbon is distilled in Indiana, bottled in Minnesota. So Chris has a in bond bourbon here. And like many snowbirds in the winter, aged in a warm climate. Aged a minimum of 3 years, but usually more, with a mash bill of 74% corn, 21% rye, and 5% malted barley. So heavy on the corn front here. Chris, how is Scalvin?
It smells delicious. You didn't mention it. Did you mention corn?
The description that I pulled did not have tasting notes. It just had 74% corn. It had the mash bill, 74% corn, 21% rye, 5% malted barley.
I need to go into detail on what, or I need to look up what exactly, because this is the smoothest one I have. This is so good.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's oak aged, which I think gives it a different. It's a clearer.
It's got to be oak aged. It wouldn't be bourbon.
It's got to be
right?
oak aged.
It's got to be.
Sorry, I mean it's not. I don't know, man. Whatever. It's not as dark as the Michter's.
Michter's.
It's like
it's the clearest dark.
It's the clearest bourbon I've ever seen. This Scalvin, and it's delicious. It's and like you said, it's 90 proof. Yeah, this is my favorite one. Like this is, I would get this again. I was disappointed to learn that it was not actually brewed or distilled in Minnesota. It's from Amish country of Indiana, but it's fine. At least it's bottled out here in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. But
so here's a quick description that I just googled it. Smooth drink with some spice from the rye. The flavor doesn't linger long, leaving you wanting to take another sip to sample the flavors. Well balanced given the high corn content. Lacks an aroma from the glass and even worse from the bottle. But don't let the aroma fool you. This bourbon has some complexity to it and is worth buying.
Yeah, it's not really you don't really smell it and be like, ooh, there's not much there. It's really in the taste and the.
That's pretty accurate. It's around what, $30-ish, $33?
Yeah, this definitely outdoes the Jeffersons, and I prefer this over the Michter's for sure.
Wow. Cool bottle too. Nice white label with a little Viking helmet on it.
Yeah,
cool design.
It's perfect. I love it. It's simple. Cool. I love the minimalist design of it. You know, it looks kind of like a Viking esque.
I enjoy that.
I did it right.
How many barrels are we giving Scalvin?
9. Give me
9. Wow.
Just over the Michter's.
This Whiskey Acres, very good as it's kind of sitting here on the ice.
Just sitting there on the ice.
On the ice.
All right, that leaves me up next, I guess. I got Old Scout.
Old Scout?
Old Scout has a beautiful horse on it, as you can see. I'm assuming Old Scout was the name of this horse, which I enjoy because I like horses, if you guys don't know that. Fun fact.
Fun fact about Joey.
I very much enjoy horses.
All right, hold on real quick. So a horse is obviously your spirit animal.
Yes.
Mine's a sea turtle. We've discovered that. Or me and you know that. Chris, what is your Spirit animal.
What's my spirit animal? I was not expecting this question tonight.
Get loose.
I feel like a sloth would be a spirit animal.
Come on.
Or some sort of bear.
Bear would be good.
A grizzly?
No.
I was thinking a bear, just because
he's not that
Chicago
ferocious.
Bears, though.
It's not that
A
ferocious.
black bear?
Black bear's a little more tame. A sloth bear.
What's the opposite of a bear? Because I'm big, but I'm very. Well, I'm not a fucking
panda.
Like, it's not
I'm not
into this
a
bear thing.
You're a panda.
Are you a panda?
You're like an atypical bear.
No, maybe we don't know your spirit animal.
I don't know my spirit. I used to ask a question when I used to do interviews at one of my previous jobs. If you can be any animal, what would you be and why? And my boss said sloth. And then after the interview, he's like, why did I tell a candidate that I'm a sloth?
Because why not?
I don't think
if somebody asked me if I could be an animal, I'd choose a horse. But that's probably my spirit animal. But I wouldn't want to be a horse.
No, but it feels like noble steed. That's very.
I always thought like a dog,
workhorse,
like a Saint Bernard.
Oh, yeah, that's actually good. Like a Saint Bernard, like a bear dog.
Like a bear dog, right? Like I'll take the order. Yes, whatever you want. What do you need?
Great Pyrenees or something. Yes, yes, it's a dog.
Always ready to serve.
All right, we got that down. Let's go. Over your review, Joey.
Old Scout. It's 99 proof. The description: amber color, sweet aromas of dried cranberry, cinnamon, crumbled topped muffins, apple butter, and maple cookies with a velvety, vibrant, dryish medium body and a warming, complex, very long sweet corn, salted Marcona almonds, olives, leather, and candied orange finish.
Leather.
A complex bourbon that hits the palate with a decadent array of fine flavors. Connoisseurs take note. This one had me at leather. A lot of the other things did not really catch my eye, but something about leather and
orange
liquors
fish did not catch you.
very much enjoy. So if I'm a connoisseur, I shall take note. Let's see.
Let's go.
Well, that's delicious.
Well, that's delicious.
That is like if a bottle of like Highland Scotch had a baby with bourbon.
Ooh.
So it's a little bit lighter in color, a little bit more on the yellow side than the brown. And there's like no hit of there's no hit of heat in the front or the back. So it's definitely dryish.
It's dry.
Not a lot of sweetness, but yeah, that's really good. I would have that. This is like a definite like winter time in front of a fire, or like a cool fall evening, or my bachelor party sitting outside the fire. This would be the one I would go to.
Rippers, Pulse.
Yeah, smoking a cigar, ripping this. This is fantastic.
Oh man, we all made some good choices here.
It was only around $30 too. It was like 35.
Is this your top one too, then, Joe? It sounded like it.
Yeah, I would take this
barrels.
over Michter's. I would hit this on 9. Because this is crushable, and in the fact that it's like a dangerous crushable, like you're gonna drink this and not be like, okay, I gotta
yeah.
Every swallow is like, okay, this is gonna burn a little bit. Like this is just very smooth.
Yeah. So on that note, what's your the question I have here is what one bourbon first are at, but what's your bourbon go to? What's been your number one?
I'll just go quick. I think it's gonna be Michter's for me. Before you even said that, like I really never had a go to. I was always kind of some guy who was buying a different bottle every time, just trying stuff. I think Michter's is gonna be my house fancy bourbon, but that's my answer.
Well, that's good. That makes me feel good that we did this. We found something for you.
Yeah, it was Pinhook. You had the reigning title anyway.
Yeah.
You recommended it was that for until then, but that'll be my go-to. Joey?
Mine is going to be Pinhook, the orange wax bottle. Again, has a horse on it, which what made me buy it in the first place.
Great animal.
The bottle is cool. It's like a tall, skinny bottle, which I enjoy. It looks cool. Good, like displayed. Price point is right. It's got a little bit more flavor than this Old Scout. The Old Scout's really good, but the bourbon, like Pinhook, you're drinking a bourbon. I think you could drink this and really not know for sure if you're like a casual drinker. But that'd be my number one. My close second would probably be Maker's 46 in terms of like a go-to, because it's just, again, it's a pretty bottle with the wax on it and just tastes really good. But third, I think I'd probably put this Old Scout in the rotation. This is
in the rotation.
Good.
It's getting minutes.
This is a new one, and it's nothing minutes. Nothing going to get some minutes. Call it like the Alex Caruso.
Yeah, just coming in.
Bourbons, like, it comes in and provides you with like a new, fresh thing. You don't know if you want it or not, but then you have it. You're like, wow, I really want this to stick around. Chris, go-to.
My number one's been, it's still Maker's 46. Yeah. You mentioned it. It's because of our trip, Joey. Me and you just have such a history. I didn't even really think about that. We share together on this.
Bourbon Bros.
That's still been the number one. This one's up there only because I am a sucker for like the local. Yeah, I want to drink local. I want to try, even though this is not. It's not actually in Indiana.
It's in Bond. It's fine. People do it.
It's fine. Maker's 46, man. That's still. And I've tried others. And I still, because I feel like that's kind of like it's kind of like saying The Dark Knight's your favorite movie. It's like, oh, you don't really care to watch movies, even though it's still my favorite movie. Like I just haven't found a better bourbon than it.
I have two friends now that's Dark Knight's their favorite movie. It's pretty well.
Maker's 46 is cool because like the story behind it, right? And the recipe that they have that extra stave in there that's from the French wine barrels, whatever it's from, which is kind of a cool little like mix that they do that's different than a lot of people. So
yeah,
I do enjoy that tale behind it.
I will say, so going into this, I was actually kind of nervous because I'm going to admit something here on the podcast. For a long time, I couldn't taste the difference between bourbons. Like I would drink bourbons, I'd be like, okay, this is a bourbon. And I was like, all right, if I do 3 in a row, I'm just gonna be like, all right, that tastes like bourbon. That tastes like bourbon.
Yeah.
But maybe doing them in a row like that really tasted the difference between the 3. Because I had never done that before. I usually just drink a single bourbon for a night or whatever. I'm not mixing and matching or anything. And then now as I'm kind of continuing to drink this Whiskey Acres, man, this is really good. Like the sweetness of the wheat. Because you said they grow their own grains.
It's mostly the corn and the barley, I think, that goes in it. I don't know about the wheat.
Wheat, but like what?
Well, it would be wheaten it to be rye, but yeah.
Yeah, but you said like I should say the flavor. It just tastes like a delicious loaf of wheat bread to me.
That sounds really good. I like bread, so that.
Yeah, I love wheat bread. Like it's one of my favorite things to eat, and I'm like, yeah, this is going down smooth. So like, how do you guys feel now? Like tasting 3 in a row? Have you guys ever done that? Is it something new?
I did a couple nights ago.
My boy.
Prep for the pod.
Which 3 did you have the other night?
The same 3.
Wait, this isn't the first time you've tasted them?
Come on, man.
No, I didn't know that.
Wow.
Wow. Well, Jefferson's already like that.
This is a fraud. This whole pod is a fraud.
Try to think about
I had Pinhook the other night because I wanted a bourbon. Because I bought 3 bourbons. I'm like, I want a bourbon.
I had Noble Oak the other night. This is a complete fraud, Chris. You really
fraud. Wow, this is like when we found out Baskets be awesome.
Oh my god!
Wow, we've had 2 frauds in the history of our podcast, and both come from Minnesota.
Chris, the fraud man, Gorman.
Wow, God. That was the whole point. We were supposed to be sampling them for the first time.
Virgin lips, Chris. We said it.
Lips.
This is the best podcast we've ever done.
Leave it to Chris.
We love you,
All
Chris.
right. Should we do the bourbon table? Does anybody else have bourbon boys? Does anybody have anything? Best NBA players you would like to share a glass of bourbon with? Does anybody have any other than me? No, Titus, go. Yes.
Oh yeah. So this for me is easy. It's Klay Thompson, man.
Yes, I knew it.
Yeah, he knew it. You guys knew it. My spirit animal in the NBA is Klay Thompson. I just want to sit, have a little drink. I don't even know if he drinks. He might not. He seems like a guy that might not drink, but
probably drinks. I think he drinks wine. He was pretty drunk at the celebration for the championship, and where he like stumbled and almost fell.
He definitely smokes, but I would love to sit there, have a glass with him, just chat, because he seems like I was running through like people and like the guys that I like in the NBA. You know, I like Ja, but like I'm not hanging out with Ja for a night. No, man, that guy's he's not my style. You know what I mean? But Klay,
pineapple hair, you're not into it.
Not into it. No, the hair I love. It's just like, I think he's gonna be doing some other stuff. He's gonna be like on Cristal or something. I'm like, nah, man, I'm trying to sip a bourbon here on a boat. Me and Klay, we're gonna be at Oceanside. We're gonna be, cracking a bottle. Maybe some fresh seafood, some oysters or something. It's gonna be great. Me and Klay. That's what I want.
Chris, do you?
Joey, what do you got? You said you have 5, so let's
I do. I made a whole table.
First. Yeah.
You
got a table here.
I made a table.
Whole table, poker table. Just
yeah, kind of. All right. So number 1 is Zach Levine.
Oh, this is that's
and no, what I have descriptions for why, right?
No, I know.
All right. So my 2 descriptions of Zach are: he seems like he's a pessimist, and he seems like he's kind of like always brooding, right? And what are 2 things you might describe me as? Probably a pessimist and kind of always brooding, right?
So always cleaning, but yes.
Yeah, well, cleaning, yeah. But like Zach's my escape route. So you'll see in my next 4, like they're the fun people.
All right,
but like when the night's over and you're like, I'm done with this, you need to have somebody that you can escape with. Be like, hey, like you want to get the fuck out of here because we're done with this. Like, right. I don't have that. You guys are the ones that want to stick around. I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. Let's go. And no, you guys never want to leave, right? So Zach is my
because Zach's leaving early. Like he's like, I'm out. All right, guys, it's 10 o'clock. I'm done. Yeah,
that's right. Zach and I are together.
On his coattails. Like, all right, Zach's out. I'm out.
In doing this, I realized this is part of why Zach and I, or why I have such an affinity for him.
Yes.
All right. So number 2 is Giannis.
Oh, all right, good pick.
Like you've got the fun guy, right? Just kind of seems like a fun-loving, go with the flow guy. But he's also probably bringing you some like Chick-fil-A or like fast food, right? He's like he's like a foodie guy, right? He's gonna show up with like a sack of chicken minis or something and be like, hey, I'm here for a good time. Let's have some fun and drink. And he's just gonna be kind of goofy. So Giannis is like my Chris of the group, right? He's the fun guy who's gonna bring food or steal your food.
Nice.
My
3. Bring food.
3rd one is Luca. And I want Luca because he's bringing either cigars or the hookah.
Luca.
When you're sitting around having some bourbon, you got something to do, right? So Luca's bringing you the activity. He's giving you something to do.
Did you hear sorry to interrupt real quick, but with Luca, did you hear the story with Shaq? What he said about Luca, where they were
DJing or together or whatever?
He went to Croatia and Luca said like, Shaq don't care, don't don't worry about anything while you're here, Shaquille O'Nealovich. Like while you're here, he just gave him. I thought it was so perfect.
Just added the Vich to the end.
O'Nealovich.
My 4th one is Kevin Durant.
Wow, left field.
Here's why. Right. So you've got Zach and me who are kind of brooding and just like kind of engaged but not. You've got
somebody to ruin the party. Is that what you
Giannis being kind of fun and having a good time. Luka's got the hookah. Then you've got Kevin Durant, who's sitting in the corner, not the corner, but he's in the circle, right? Yeah. He's on his phone, but he's on the burner account. And he is just on Twitter, just ripping people and burning people left and right. And like every 5 minutes, he shouts out something really fucking stupid. And you just have a good laugh at it. And then he just goes back into his phone and goes back to it. And you just kind of let it go. It's like, all right. It's the injection of like, this guy is crazy. Why is he here? Why is he doing this? So
all right, yeah. He's spicing it up. He's the spice.
You need the spice, right? And my 5th one, this is the wild card here, right? Give me Serge Ibaka.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's a great pick.
Because mostly for his YouTube show, right? He's got the whole cooking question thing. So like, he might cook you up something on the campfire, but he's also the guy who's just gonna be asking you like a shit ton of questions and like keeping the conversation going and kind of like. He's going to bring out the best in everybody because that's what he does in his little interview. So you've got everybody there and everybody has their own role in the group of friends. And I'm telling you, this would be a fantastic bonfire with these 5.
Me and Clay are showing up at this bonfire. Like I'm telling Clay, hey, Joe, my buddy Joey texts me, KD, they're all there. Let's go.
I was going to put Clay in there, but I was like, Titus is going to do it. And Titus has way more, like Clay's going to choose Titus over me. So it just makes
me
more
and Clay
sense.
are hanging. Yeah. We're on our own thing. We're hanging out before this. We're at the beach, and then you're
getting mellow out first, and you're coming to the party.
And then you're like, "Hey, man, me and the boys are chilling out. Zach's here. He's probably leaving in an hour. So, like, get here quick." And I'm like, "All right, yeah. Hey, Clay, you want to hit this up real quick?" I'm with it.
That's great.
So I thought about. I don't know if I would drink bourbon with them. I think I would. And is obviously it's gotta be Bobby Portis, just because. I'm going through like every single name in the league, and like there's a lot of guys that are just I don't feel like they'd be great hangs. I don't know if you guys saw the Paulo Banchero, Chet Holmgren picture where they're like having these fashion designer, they got the chains, got the watch, and I'm like, I don't want to. And they're also 19 years old, so I don't want to hang out with them because they're 10 years younger than me. But Bobby Portis,
you guys on MySpace or
Friends with Tom?
But so for obvious reasons, but a dark horse one is Zion. We haven't heard anything from Zion Williamson since he was out all last year.
So you want the inside scoop from Zion?
I just want to drink with Zion just to get what's going through your head. How are you feeling about New Orleans? Do you actually like it here? I've never been to the city, but I think it'd be fun.
I appreciate.
I mean, if we get Zion, are you kidding?
Yeah, we get Zion. Couple bourbons in them. Hey, could you answer a few questions on mic real quick? And
on mic, yeah, right.
Show.
Chris, I got a question follow up for you on this. So you and Bobby are hanging out, right? You go to like a bar in Wrigleyville and you sing System of a Down, and then you go somewhere else after that. Like, how many fights in a night are you and Bobby getting into?
We're at Beer on Clark. We go.
I feel like it's got to. The over/under's got to be at like 3.5 to start, right? Like
3.5.
Like
okay,
you and
I was
Bobby,
thinking like 1, 2.5, maybe.
No,
but Chris isn't starting fights though.
No. When I drink,
never mind.
I'll start a fight. I'll be like, "Wait, you want to go? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Intentionally starting fights,
what are you gonna do?
But he may
Step
just
up.
through his actions cause people to want to fight.
Bobby's like not backing down.
No, Bobby's crazy eyes right next to him. Bobby's crazy eyes right next to Chris. He's ready to go. So they're cruising around in the corner,
like
we would have a different hang than what Joey's describing with his little campfire thing. We're out in the town just doing shots.
Just doing shots.
Yeah, you guys are getting in some scrums throughout the evening.
I love it. All right, I got a question for you guys. Has any of you guys gone back to one of your bourbons yet?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I also have gone back. Joey, have you gone back yet?
I have not.
All right.
I haven't finished.
Which one do you guys think? So, Chris, I'm assuming you went to your third one again.
Yeah, I went to that skull.
All right.
Yeah.
Which he already tasted before and knew it was his favorite.
Which you knew was great. Yeah.
So I had to confirm it tonight. Different night. You never know. I forgot what it was like the other night. It's.
So I surprised myself. I went back and I thought the whole time I'm thinking I'm going to go to Michter's. I went back to Whiskey Acres.
I'm glad you like it.
That was delicious.
Whiskey 8. Okay.
The sweetness
Whiskey Acres is good. Whiskey Acres is fantastic. It's underrated. And
we need to go since it's in DeKalb. We should go.
We should do it. I'm in. I love DeKalb.
I'm out. I'm out here.
I'm out. Well, you're out in Minnesota.
I'm gonna go watch Go Bear. Just block everyone.
Go Bear or go home. So, what is going to be your fantasy team name, and how high are you drafting Go Bear?
Go Bear, go home. And it's the second. He should fall because there's so much happening on that team, right? Like Towns going to drop an average draft position this year. Edwards will probably go up, but Gobert could be like in the mid-20s, right?
Don't try and trick us.
I'm trying to lowball us.
I don't think that's
true. Gobert right away.
I got him.
I'm going to make you trade the.
I'm pretty sure I always got him like in the third or fourth round. That's why I was always able to get him.
But in terms of like rebounding, right? Like,
he's getting 15 boards a game. Yeah,
right. Like Cat isn't playing like a true center anymore, so that opens up all those
boards are
all of Cat's additional stats are Rudy Gobert's now, right? Like Cat's not going to get rebounds anymore.
That's why Cat's falling in the draft for fantasy wise. He's going to be more efficient, but he'll probably take a drop in volume.
Don't you worry, Zach LaVine's going 18 to me.
18? You already think you're going to be
second round?
Second round.
So we will.
So you'd have the second pick.
I'll be like the sixth pick,
third pick.
12 guys, 18. Well,
all right, I got it.
Sure.
I got the best worst.
I went back to Old Scout. My third one.
Nice.
We all went back to our wild cards.
Yeah, we did. That's weird.
We all went back to the wild cards.
Maybe it might have just been the last one we had, and we're just like, just keep it going.
Right. It's like, you know what? I feel good. And it's
good. I feel good.
I'm a little disappointed in Jefferson's. It's a cool bottle and like the story behind it.
Yeah, I would say.
And maybe it's just because it is compared price wise, like it tastes like what you paid for it.
True.
I liked it more when I had it a few days ago than it did now.
Wow.
I think like though, if you're gonna buy a bourbon to like dump
Hamilton?
with like a Coke or like some sweet tea, like Jefferson's is perfect go-to.
Yeah.
It's cheap, and it's not like you're buying like Evan Williams or something where you're like, oh, I bought like the cheapest college one I could find. Right? You're like, I bought Jefferson's.
But see, like to me, I'd rather buy Jim Beam at that point. Like, all right, if I'm gonna mix it, I'm just gonna get Jim Beam and be done.
Whoa, easy.
I love me some Jim Beam. Don't start.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
I'm not a fan of Jim Beam.
It's not the best.
You used to drink Red Stag a lot, actually.
I mean, weren't we taking pulls of Jim Beam as your party? That was,
and
younger days.
If we need to talk about this, like who really liked Jim Beam that weekend? All of you guys.
Yes.
Whose bachelor party was it?
It was yours.
Mine.
I like the Jack Fire.
Hold on, the bachelor
that
party
Jack
is for your
Daniel's Fire.
boys. It's not for you.
What did we end up buying? We bought Coors Light and Jim Beam.
Yes.
Yeah. Who drinks Coors Light? Chris and Titus.
Yes.
Who drinks
But
Bud?
also, that's very on brand. On your bachelor party, you would think of others.
Yeah. Yeah. See, and I'm brooding about it still to this day, which is why Zach Wade and I are spirit players.
This is great.
Oh my God.
All right, so we got anything else tonight? What is on deck for in 2 weeks? Because I've forgotten the schedule.
Well, do we want to do one more start bench cut? Since
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing this every 2
Let's do
weeks.
that.
We've got
Yeah.
time.
We got time. Yeah, we got time. We can let this breathe. We can have
long
some more
hour
whiskeys.
episodes. They love the hour-long episodes.
People love them.
All right, start
Especially
bench
this one. We'll get a little
bench
loose.
cut. We're going into the guard realm here.
Heinrich.
It's specific. Kirk Heinrich is on the list, right?
All
All right, so let's start prime Kirk Heinrich. 2016 Derrick Rose.
What is that?
This is like end of Chicago Bulls tenure Derrick Rose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Lonzo Ball from last year, assuming that he, doesn't get injured and misses half a season.
Well, I know. If I'm assuming he's not going to get injured, he's an all-star. So
What?
Are you serious? If Lonzo doesn't get injured and plays
he's
like
an all-star?
70, yeah. If he could play a full fucking season,
Now, let's just remember, right?
Now the bourbon is hitting us now.
So he
No,
got
no,
injured.
I'm saying-
Hang on.
Are we
He got
doing
injured
it?
like the second week of January. All-star voting was already underway at that point. Lonzo Ball was not in the. He's looking up the
all right,
all-star
maybe the
voting.
bourbon said
stats.
a little bit here.
We'll get him up. All
This
right,
is a little bit of a reaction.
Rose start, Lonzo
2016
bench,
you said you're-
Heinrich's cut.
He
Interesting.
only played 35 games last year, guys.
Right.
Like,
So you're starting end of tenure
Yeah.
Derrick
shot
Rose.
42% from
I'm
3-point
starting
range.
Rose, no matter what.
Starting Derrick Rose no matter what. Even
No, I'm cutting Derrick Rose. Yeah.
I'm with Chris. I'm starting Lonzo,
Right.
benching Heinrich, cutting
Bench Heinrich.
that season's
Heinrich was
Derrick Rose.
fantastic. Are you
I'd have a
kidding?
season
Heinrich was the 12 o'clock on my Bulls clock when I was in junior high, maybe. I don't know.
So 2016 Rose before he gets 2015-16. He's averaging 16.4 points.
Oh, never mind.
16.4 points a game. Titus
Never mind.
shooting 80% from the free throw line,
Got him.
44% from the field.
Got him. Kept
Yeah,
Kirk coming off the
exactly.
bench. Sorry.
Exactly. There you go.
Sorry. You know what? I was just
Lonzo starts, and that's
Let's give me Zoe.
Chris and I agree. For the defense,
I came round.
came around.
Kirk defense, no one ever talks about it because he's a white boy, but he's fantastic defensively.
Kirk's the best.
Heady player, smart.
Where's
He knew where to be at the right time.
Right time.
He knew
Team
when
guy,
to go
team
for the
guy.
steal and when not. Yeah.
Where's sports goggles like me.
So what is on tap next week?
So we're
Is it the
starting
food
our top fives, right?
Yeah, top fives.
So we don't know what's top five, but we're starting our top
Oh,
five.
we did like a oh wow. Okay.
Or
We
do you
have
guys wanna
top
do
5
fitness
sandwiches, condiments, snack
No.
foods. Are we doing
I
this?
think-
What's going on here?
I think we're saving Fitness Bros for next off season.
Okay.
I think we have to
I need to
look a
get
little
fit
bit.
first before.
I think we have to be fit. Just because you've been doing yoga with Adrian for like a year doesn't mean Chris and I are quite at that level yet.
We're all right. Yeah, all right. We got to save for next year. All right, that's fine.
I mean, I ran a fast mile, but I need
We're
to
working out for like 2.5
do a
weeks, guys.
marathon.
Sure. So all right, hold on. We can get a little quick. What's up with this working out here, man? You threw me for a loop.
What do you mean?
All of a sudden, you start sending us a workout.
All
Oh,
right,
Joey. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my company built a second building right next door to the current building that I work in. They connected it with a tunnel underground. They've got a full-on gym with treadmills,
nice.
weight machines, free weights, and then they've got 2 separate rooms. They got a yoga studio and then a third room that has a turf floor with rowers, bikes, and like I don't know, jump boxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've been spending a ton of time on the rower because rowing is just fantastic and hitting those jump boxes. And
You would like nobody likes rowing, man.
Oh,
Like,
solid.
you
Dude,
like rowing.
rowing
Okay.
is fantastic. You row and you don't have to do anything else for the rest of the day. Like you don't have to hit any other machine.
body.
You row.
How
you're getting-
long are you on that rower?
I do 10,000 meters on the row in about 40 minutes.
Oh, are you going 40 minutes? That's solid.
40 minutes?
I'm getting after it.
Yeah, he's getting after it.
Yeah, they built this fancy gym. They got a full locker room with showers and stuff, so I don't have to go back to my desk and smell. I get a full shower in, and it's great. My lunch hour is going to the gym. And
you still skip that lunch.
So the company short answer is the company built you a workout center.
They made it convenient for me.
You made it convenient for you, like on my lunch, I'm getting it in.
Right. I don't have to pay for gym membership. I don't have to go. I don't have to try and do it early in the morning after work. I can literally do it. I'm already where I'm at and do it.
You walk through the tunnel.
The fact that they have like the jump boxes and stuff, like I don't love just lifting weights because I never can gain a ton of muscle just because my body type. Like it's not going to happen. So like doing a lot of like full body stuff and like working on my core and stretching and that kind of stuff is the way that I
sound like me here.
Yeah. I can't quite do yoga. It's too boring for me. I need to do more like jump boxes and stuff like that. That gets me fired up.
All right, cool. I'm glad to see you working out, man. I always like to appreciate when people start.
And also, last summer, Titus made fun of me for being fat.
I think this is where it all started.
That's why I'm sending you Snapchats of it because I want you to know that I'm not going to be fat next year at the dunk contest.
Right. Well, and I did tell Michelle, I was like, I'm kind of glad everybody's working out because I'm like, somebody was going to get hurt at that dunk contest next year.
Nobody was going to get hurt.
Somebody's getting hurt. Even if we all work out, one of us is definitely getting hurt at this thing.
All right. What kind of dunk
should we end the pod? Should we?
No, I think we need
to. All right, let's keep going.
Keep it in.
What kind of dunk are you planning on doing?
I'm just saying.
You have a thought.
We're all over 30, and we're going to be jumping.
That's fine.
If we try to do anything, somebody's pulling something. We're
going to lower the hoop to like 7.5 feet, so it's not like you have to like.
Somebody's getting hurt.
You don't have to like really, elevate.
I can get a little trampoline too. Slam ball's coming back too.
Add something into it. Let's add something else that could get us hurt.
Like I'm thinking like a 360 between the legs. That's kind of what I'm going to get to.
I know. Have you tried that recently? It's just hard. It's hard.
I can do that.
All right.
With a small ball. With
a small ball.
Any size ball.
Yeah,
so I don't have to palm an NBA size ball.
We'll definitely have to film that for the podcast. If people are still listening to this, we might do a dunk contest next year. Or we are doing a dunk contest this year.
Titus is just gonna.
I'm just saying somebody's gonna hurt. All right,
Chris is between me and you.
I think Chris is right. I think we're wrapped up here. Well, that is it for us tonight. We had a blast doing this. Thank you guys. It was great to drink alcohol here professionally. And we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk more some sort of top 5 draft.
Maybe basketball.
We'll see. Basketball. We'll see what happens if KD gets traded, Kyrie gets traded. We'll see what's going on. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at the Box Out Boys. Slide in those DMs. Join us live Wednesdays at around 8:30. Send us an email to theboxoutboys@gmail.com. And as always, like, subscribe, and review wherever you listen to this at now. We very much appreciate that. So for Joey, Chris, and Adam, I'm Titus. Until next time, Box Out.